Welcome in, everyone, to Lively Lewis Stories.
That's right, we're back with even more awesome adventures with Levi and Ivy.
Set your storytime meter to fun and get ready to join the Lively Lewis crew.
All you need is your imagination and...
Off we go! I can't wait to see where our story takes us today.
Have you ever wanted to get more Lively Lewis in your life?
Well, we've got you covered.
Grab an adult and zoom over to livelylewisshop.com.
Or just click on the link in our show notes.
Enough about that. Let's get to today's super Lively Lewis story.
Last we left off, Levi was drifting off to sleep where he wished he would wake up in a world where Pokemon were real. He hoped while there to become a great Pokemon trainer, proving to his mom that it wasn't all make-believe. And much to Levi's great joy, and when he opened his eyes the next morning, he found himself in a dense forest with Pokemon chirping, scurrying, and flying about. But that wasn't all. Standing right there in front of him as he hopped out of bed was none other than... Ash Ketchum? You're Ash Ketchum! Replied Levi as he ran toward the famed Pokemon trainer. I can't believe it! It's really you! You're the best Pokemon trainer in the world, and I practice every day to be just like you. Do you think, if you have time, do you think you could train you? Ash said, finishing Levi's question with a smile. Of course, that's why I'm here. The Pokemon world has been buzzing with talk of a boy who possesses great power, dedication, and magic. The kind of magic that, if properly harnessed and trained, will set him apart from other Pokemon trainers all over this land. Levi could not believe what he was hearing, and then suddenly Ash pointed over Levi's shoulder and said, "And here's the Pokemon who's been talking all about you." When Levi turned around, he was so happy to see his very own Pikachu stuffed animal running toward him. "Pikachu told me all about you," said Ash with a smile, "and I can't wait to see if it's all true." "Pika Pika! Pika Pika!" called out Pikachu as he ran to Levi, jumped into his arms. Levi was so happy to see his friend that he gave him a huge hug. "I knew you believed in me, Pikachu," Levi whispered to his friend before putting him back down on the ground. Ash saw how excited Levi was and gave him a few minutes to look around and absorb the amazingness of the situation before asking, "You may be wondering, what is this place and why am I here?" "Yeah, that's exactly what I was wondering," said Levi as he looked around with wide eyes. That's when Ash went on to tell Levi that he was now in a special Pokemon universe, created just for Pokemon enthusiasts who are allowed to enter when their dedication to the Pokemon world reaches a certain level. "You have reached that level, Levi," Ash began. "We all feel that you are ready to become a trainer, but you need some one-on-one training from me first." "That would be wonderful. I've dreamed of this happening forever," exclaimed Levi. "Thank you so much." "But what did you mean when you said we feel that you're ready? Who else is here?" Ash simply waved his hand and summoned a troop of Pokemon who stepped forward to welcome Levi. There was Charizard, Mewtwo, Jigglypuff, Eevee, Charmander, and even Bulbasaur. Levi couldn't help but laugh to himself as he saw some of the Pokemon, thinking of his mom's funny way of pronouncing their names. And at that moment, he missed home. Thinking of his mom, he wondered when he would get back home to see her and his dad and Ivy again. How long would his training take, and would he want to leave when it was all over? But this was all too much to think about just then, and Levi didn't want to miss a second of what was going on around him. So instead of thinking of home, Levi turned all his attention to the amazing, once-in-a-lifetime adventure that lay before him. "You just have the kind of energy we need here," said Ash. "The kind of energy, drive, and natural ability that will make you a great Pokemon trainer. So will you let me train you?" Levi couldn't say yes fast enough and agreed to head out with Ash to find some Pokemons and form a group. As Levi, Ash, and Pikachu traveled the land, they discussed 3 primary goals for any great Pokemon trainer. 1, explore the Pokemon world. 2, complete their Pokédex by recruiting all new available Pokemon. And 3, train a team of up to 6 Pokemon and engage in battle. As all the 3 friends made their way across the vast landscapes through haunting forests and over hills and valleys, Levi learned more than he ever thought possible. He learned the ways of each Pokemon, how to gauge their ability to help his group, how to work with their special skills, and also what special skills he possessed that he didn't even know of. But above all that, Levi learned about friendship, perseverance, and believing in yourself. There were several times as Levi followed Ash through different parts of his special Pokemon universe that he didn't know if he could make it. He doubted his ability and wanted to turn back. But Ash and Pikachu trusted in him, believed in him, and cheered him on. And after completing what Levi thought was once impossible, he felt a level of pride that he had never felt before. But no matter how well he was taking to his new role as soon-to-be Pokemon trainer, Levi could not stop thinking of one person back home. His mom. "Do you wish your mom could see you now, Levi?" asked Ash as they sat around a campfire after a long day of exploring and recruiting Pokemon. Levi had told him all about the talk he had with his mom the day before he showed up there. "Yeah, I really do," answered Levi, looking a bit sad. "I know she's proud of me no matter what I do, but I'm really proud of this, and I want her to see that." Ash tried his best to assure Levi that he would get to tell his mom all about this amazing adventure soon, and that she would be so proud of all he had accomplished. But first, Levi needed to turn all his attention to a giant Pokemon battle that was coming up the very next day. The battle put into practice all the training Levi and Ash had been doing over the course of the last few days. Levi had made so much progress in such a short time, Ash knew he truly had what it took to be a great Pokemon trainer. He just had to believe in himself and show everyone how great he was. But it wouldn't be easy. Levi was up against a very, very difficult trainer named Cynthia. She was very powerful and the reigning champion of the Sinnoh region. "I've heard a lot about you, Levi," Cynthia called out from across the gym, as the next battle was set to start. "I guess we'll see if you're as good as all the Pokemon say you are." Levi didn't let her intimidating tone scare him, as he got together with Ash and Pikachu for one last talk before the battle began. "You're ready for this, Levi. You just have to believe that you are," Ash began. "You know that these battles are friendly in nature, and since this is your first battle, we will not be competing to take over Cynthia's gym. Instead, this battle will serve to prove if you really should be a Pokemon trainer." Pikachu looked up to his friend. He could see that Levi was nervous, but he could also see the spark in his eye. A spark that Pikachu always knew was there, and a spark that would get Levi to the end of this battle as the winner. Just like the Pokemon that you trained, Levi. When you win this battle, you will gain experience and become stronger. You will be able to unlock new levels within yourself and within the Pokemon that you train. This battle will test you as much as you test your Pokemon. Good luck, Levi, Ash said as he shook Levi's hand and headed off to the stands with Pikachu. But before he left Levi's side, Pikachu gave his friend one last piece of advice. Pikachu, he said with a knowing look. "Thank you, Pikachu, for always believing in me and for bringing me here," Levi said. "I hope I make you and Ash proud." But as Levi was saying that, he wasn't just thinking of Pikachu and Ash. He was thinking of his mom as well. However, before Levi could give that thought one more moment of his time, the battle was underway. He had to turn all his attention to his Pokemon team and focus all his effort on beating Cynthia. The battle started off slowly, with each team of 6 Pokemon sizing each other up. Then as they got comfortable, the real excitement began. Levi had trained them all well as his Pokemon smashed, snarled, and boom bursted their way through the battle. It was one quick attack after another as Cynthia's team proved to be very skilled. Hyper Beam zigzagged through the gym as eruptions rocked the ground they stood on. "We can do this, Pokemon!" called out Levi over the sound of crashing and slamming all around. "I believe in you!" At that moment, Levi's team seemed to join forces and become one. The battle was theirs to win, and they knew it. They set up Ivy, who of course Levi recruited because it was Ivy's favorite, to perform one of her best finishing moves, the Tail Whip. It worked perfectly, and the last of Cynthia's Pokemon lay on the floor exhausted after an epic battle. "We did it!" cheered Levi as he congratulated his team. "You did it!" shouted Ash with Pikachu close behind. "I told you I believed in you, and I knew you could do it." Then Levi heard a voice that he recognized cut through the crowd and all the excitement. "I always believed in you too," said a young girl who, much to Levi's surprise, looked just like his mom. She was younger then and with a look of childish wonder and magic in her eyes. "You did a wonderful job, and I always knew you could. I am so proud of you, Levi." "Mom, is that you?" blurted out Levi, almost too surprised to speak. But just then, the crowd pushed in and around Levi, Ash, Pikachu, Cynthia, and the rest of the Pokemon, and the young girl got caught up in the crowd and disappeared from view. "Ash, I think that was my mom, but I can't be sure," said Levi, looking around wildly for the young girl. "Levi, I couldn't tell you this before. You had to discover it on your own. But yes, that was your mom," Ash told Levi. "When she was a child, she joined us here in the special Pokemon universe because she had the gift that you have now. However, it was too much for her to handle, and after a short stay here, she vowed to never compete again. When she saw how good you were at Pokemon, she was scared that it would end up the same way for you." Levi finally understood it all now. "Why didn't she ever tell me?" Levi asked Ash. It was a long time ago, and while she remembers some of it, she most likely thinks it was all just some unbelievable dream, answered Ash. But I have to ask, now that you have won the battle, proved yourself, and won the approval of your mom, will you be staying with us here as the newest Pokemon trainer? Levi couldn't believe the opportunity before him. It's what he always wanted, but as he stood there among the cheering crowd and all his Pokemon universe friends, he couldn't stop looking for his mom in the crowd. He knew then that his decision was made. He told Ash he had to leave, but that he would be eternally grateful for everything that he learned from him. It was a pleasure to meet you and train you, Levi, said Ash. Remember, this universe is open to you whenever you'd like to return. Ash smiled and shook Levi's hand as Pikachu jumped into his arms. He would be returning to the real world with Levi, but as his favorite stuffed toy once again. As Levi waved goodbye to the special Pokemon universe, he closed his eyes and felt himself being lulled to sleep. When he woke up, he discovered that he was back in his room. Pikachu was back to being a stuffed toy. Ash Ketchum was nowhere to be found, and his room was just a room, no longer the forest in a special Pokemon universe. That was one unbelievable dream, Levi whispered to himself as something shiny caught his eye sitting in the corner of his night table. It was a trophy from the Pokemon battle he had won and a note from Ash that read, "We didn't want you to forget this cool souvenir of your time here with us. See you soon, Ash." Levi was hiding the trophy as his mom walked into his room. "Morning, Levi. I've been thinking about you all night, and I just wanted to let you know that I'm so proud of all the hard work you put into your Pokemon activities," his mom began. "You know, I was a kid once too, and I played games like this. I was pretty good too. I just don't want you to get so wrapped up in it that you lose sight of what's here at home. But I love you so much, and I always believe in all that you do." Levi didn't say a word, but instead hugged his mom tight, and as he did, she glanced over and saw the trophy sitting on his bed. "That's so strange," she said, picking up the trophy. "I had a little toy trophy that looked just like this when I was a little girl. I don't remember where I got it, but I always loved it. I think I know where it came from," said Levi with a smirk. "Thank you, Mom, for always being my biggest fan. What do you say we have your favorite Pokemon berry bowls for breakfast this morning?" she asked, walking out of Levi's room. "Actually, I'm all set with Pokemon snacks for a while," answered Levi. "How about just some good old-fashioned pancakes?" "Sounds good to me," said his mom. "And while I make them, can you tell me all about your Pokemon training? It does sound really interesting." "It is, Mom, and I bet you'd be really good at it," said Levi as he turned and looked at the Pikachu stuffed toy on his bed, which gave him a quick little wink as Levi followed his mom downstairs.
Want to start a podcast? Spotify has an easy, free platform called Spotify for Podcasters. Here's how it works. Record and edit your podcast on your phone or computer with ease. Share your podcast on Spotify and all other major platforms. You can even make video podcasts on Spotify. If you want to engage with your audience more, use Q&A and polls. You can earn money through ads and podcast subscriptions. It's completely free, no hidden cost. Give it a try. Visit www.spotify.com/podcasters to get started. We love making our podcast, and working with Spotify has been amazing. Thanks for joining us today. We hope you enjoyed the story and learned a little something too.
And since we know everyone has their own story, we'd love to hear yours.
If you have an idea for a Lively Lewis story, leave a comment on our Apple Podcast review page with 5 stars, your idea, and your little one's name.
Then maybe our next adventure will be with you.
Until our next Storytime Hangout.
Thanks for listening. We can't wait to share another fun, Lively Lewis story with you.